Hi, it's Martin and welcome to another video on my Knit365 YouTube channel. Today's video is episode 3, I think, of the January weekly blogs. It's currently 3:30-ish on Sunday. I am in a pajama top. We're having a very lazy day. Mark is here and he's prepping some food. We're having a roast chicken, as you know we love to do on a Sunday. I'm a little bit tired. We went out yesterday. We went to a comedy show, which was brilliant. Lots of fun, but we got home, it was like midnight. There's a theme at the moment, isn't there? But we got home, not hungover today, just a little bit tired. I wasn't gonna film. I was sitting on the sofa and I was like, oh, but I'm doing it, because if I do it now, then this goes live tomorrow, and then we've kept up with the weekly series. Come on, we can do it. So hi, if you're new here and just stumbling upon my channel, you are very welcome. I used to do a monthly roundup where I would sit down and chat about all the things I'd got up to in the month before. Finished objects, works in progress, new cast-ons, etc. And at the moment, I'm trying to do weekly to mix up the content a little bit and then also keep myself a little bit more accountable. This is the Knit365 blog. This is me crafting or trying to craft a little bit every day. Out of the last 7 days though, I think there were at least 3 days that I did nothing at all, maybe even 4. Work has been incredibly crazy this week. Yeah, like there's just stuff going on. It's all fine. But yeah, not even had the headspace to sit down and do a couple of rounds on a sock. So not a lot of crafting has happened. But let me share with you what I've been working on. So let's do finished object, no S, one object. We're not having an official sock dance yet because they're not finished properly, but I finished my sock. So this is the January sock pattern by Stephen West. It's not called the January sock pattern. I think it's called the spiral shift socks, I think. Sorry, fluff. I think that's what it's called, but these are the January patterns. Stephen has released an ebook with, that'll get updated throughout the year and we get a different sock a month. I'm absolutely not going to be keeping up with a pair of socks a month, but I've been making good progress on these in January and I finished sock number 1. So it's unblocked, but I have sewn all the ends in. So this yarn is by Cool Woolens, the lovely Nick. I just love this vibrant blue, and it's paired with this kind of highly variegated second skein. That's them in real life. And yeah, I really love how the contrast plays through. And then we've got this kind of slip stitch motif that twists around. So this is the left sock, and they will twist around my foot, and then the pattern is actually reversed, and there is a right sock pattern, so the spiral will go the other way. Garter stitch heel that Stephen favours, and then as with most of Stephen's socks, the pattern continues down the foot, down the top of the foot, but not on the bottom. The bottom is just plain plain stocking stitch. So yeah, I have finished sock number 1. I didn't get gauge and I didn't swatch properly, so this is the second size. I would usually make the 3rd size for my foot, a UK size 10, but I've done the 2nd size because I didn't get gauge and it's a little bit bigger. But I grabbed my Dustland socks. I've been wearing these, sorry. But I got them to like check the length and everything. And they are the same size. I've tried it on. Oh, actually, I've tried it on. Let me pop a picture on screen now. So that is the finished sock. So we have a finished object, singular, this week. Yes, so I'm really happy with the progress on that one. And then what I did, how do you like to do socks? If I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna finish a sock, I like to have enough time to finish the sock and then immediately cast on the second one. So maybe that could be the thumbnail this week. How do we do this? I also like finding moments in the videos to pick the thumbnail because I've said before, the YouTube algorithm, the thumbnails that they pick are very, very strange. But yes, I've also now cast on the second sock. I'm very much team double pointed needles. I love a DPN. I can't get on with magic loop. We are not good bedfellows. I've tried it. When I've used it on like hats, when we're shaping the crown, if I've got the hat and it's done on and it's done on a needle, I can then switch to magic loop just to close because I feel like the hat is already set up. Starting a magic loop project doesn't happen. So I'm very much looking forward to getting sock number 2 done. They are living in this bag, but it's like a grey tweed colour by Gemma of The Little Grey Girl, friend of the podcast. They're living in that bag, and I'm hoping by Unravel, which is towards the end of February, I will have a finished pair of socks that I can take to show Nick, who is vending at Cool Woolens. So that was my sock adventure. I grabbed my Contrast Blast socks yesterday. So these are a pattern by Stephen West as well. You can rustle the foil, it's okay.
It's all right.
No, it's fine. Real life, hey? Mark's cooking tea, he needed the foil. I don't know if you can hear that, but sometimes the camera picks weird noise up and sometimes it doesn't. But I wore these out yesterday, and as I put them on, or I went to wear them out yesterday, and as I put them on, one of them had a hole in, which was totes annoying. Yeah. So these have a pattern on the top of the foot and then just a plain stripe on the bottom, but they also have this traveling cable that comes down the sock. Yeah. And when I put it on, this stripe here, you can see, can you see there's a tiny little jog there now. They ripped open. So I think what I must have done is I have a go at Mark about this, because when I make him socks, he's a bit heavy-handed with his socks, and I often need... Yes, you are. I've darned your socks more than my socks. Rubbish. Pish. Yeah, I think I've pulled it and I've ripped the join. So I nearly thought about doing this morning and filming it, but I was up early, like 7:45. I was sitting on the sofa. Mark was asleep. I didn't want to speak, so I didn't film it, but I've darned these this week as well, which is important to talk about because that was crafting that I did. So yeah, I needed to do that. So I'm very happy. So I can now carry on wearing these, bit of make and mend. But I think it's also good that you learn new skills. I'm not the best darner, but because I'd ripped it, the stitches had come apart. So I treated it almost like an afterthought heel. I just slid the needle in on both sides, and then like an afterthought heel. But I then just did, I grafted it to join them back together. And then I had a long length and I sewn it all up and around and I've secured it all. So I'm very happy with that. Yes, so the other thing that I have finished this week. This isn't a proper finished object, and this will come in the Spinuary video, but I finished another bumper fibre. I like to think I'm getting better, and I'm not sure I am. Like, what on earth is that? That's not spun properly at all, whereas that is. I'm not going to blame the fibre because I am a new spinner, but I finished this bump, so I'm hand spinning some bumps of fibre that I picked up at Unravel, and I can't remember the person's name, so my apologies for not being able to name check you, but someone commented on one of the previous videos when I talked about my spinning and how it was coming out really thick, saying that maybe it's the fibre. And the fibre that I bought, was it designed for spinning or felting? And the company that I bought this from, I think they're called Fudge and Mabel. If it's not Fudge and Mabel, I'll pop it on screen. They do the most beautiful and intricate hand felted items. And these bumps of fibre were on the stall. So I don't know what the difference is in the fibre. That would make it for felting versus spinning, but I'm spinning with this, but I think it might be for felting, which is why it's really dense and hard to draft. But more on that in the Spinuary video, and I'm going to hopefully by the end of the month have got onto some actual fibre that I bought for spinning, because I'm making progress. I had five of these little bumps. Another spoiler. I don't know what they're going to be. They probably won't even get schemed up. They'll probably just stay as art yarn. I don't know. They can get used for something. Bookmarks or, you know, like weaving. Something like that. Partly, I might, like, look at that. That's quite good there. See, they're quite good and thin. And then these are really thick. In theory, when I've done this, so that little bumper fibre is turning into about this much wool. Yarn that I've created. I'm inclined to maybe see how much I'll have with all 5 together, and I could crochet them into a something. These were only ever bought as practice spins because I've got proper fibre, but I wanted to just get back into the habit. So they're never designed for a proper project. So we'll see what they're going to be at some point. But if you are a more experienced spinner, and there are lots of you out there, let me know what you think about the fibre to spin and fibre to, not felt, pin, what's it called when you stab it with a needle? Is it felting? Yeah, needle felting. That should be the thumbnail. Yeah, let me know if that is a thing, and how I can spot future fibres. So I've done a little bit of work on that this week as well. We are watching some TV this afternoon. We are watching After the Flood on ITV. We've just started that one. There's been a flood. It's now after the flood. They found a body. Who done it? So I've just sat down on the sofa and I've picked up Darwin. So this is the Charles Darwin pattern. If you haven't seen this throughout January, this is by Kerry Lord of Toft. I was very lucky to go to the workshop for Charles Darwin at the end of last year. I did the body and the head last week, and I'm now working on the hand. I've not managed to do anything on this all week. I tried to do a little bit of, I've taken it to work with me every day thinking I could just do a couple of rounds on an arm, and I've just not had any time to have like a proper lunch break. I've had a quick walk out, get some fresh air and something to eat, and then back to work. So I'm doing the hand, so the arm into the hand, and then I'm doing the advanced hand, which will give him individual fingers. So there's finger 1. So yeah, not much progress has been made on Darwin, I'm afraid. And then I have one more nearly finished object, which is Mark's shawl. I'll show you in a minute. It's drying, so I'll need to take the camera over to there and show you, but we'll touch on that right at the very end. And And then the other thing for this week, I mentioned that I was doing a sock knit along with my knitting group, my lovely friends, Amanda, Kate and Charlotte. And yeah, we're gonna have a cast on party tonight. Whoop, whoop, 7 o'clock on Zoom. Oh yeah, we need to factor food around that. So we'll either need to eat before 7 or after 8.
Okay.
Is that okay? I've only just thought that.
Yeah, I'd forgotten all about it.
Oh, you'd forgotten, yeah, good. But we have, yes, food's not in yet. No, it's fine. Mark's here, random tangent. Yes, so I'm going to be using this amazing blue, this is the Stansfield colourway by Gemma of The Little Grey Girl. We're going to have a Zoom call and all cast on together. I've obviously made socks. I'm also, oh, let me take these off. They only went on this morning. This is the very first pair of socks I ever made. I cannot remember the pattern, and I cannot remember the wool. But it's got this lovely, it might be the circle socks, maybe. It's got this like circle motif on the top, and then just a plain vanilla foot, and I think it's the Eye of Partridge heel, I think. But yes, I have been wearing these today because it's been cold and I was mending and darning and fixing my other socks. I now need to take the second one off because I can't just wear one sock, that's weird. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. Yes, so I've obviously made a few pairs of socks before. Kate and Amanda have never made socks. Amanda is furious that through knitting group peer pressure, she has to cast on with us and make socks. But they are DK weight and they've got cables on and she's a cabling demon. So she's gonna be able to do this cabling without a cable needle. I can't do that. And what?
Sock bully.
Sock bully. I'm not a sock bully. I'm helping our group develop skills.
However you want to badge it.
Socks is my thing, Amanda's is cable, so we all help each other out and we all push each other to learn new techniques and everything. So yeah, excited to get these started. I think Charlotte has made one pair of socks before. So we're all gonna help each other out, and the idea is that we're gonna cast on today, and then at the end of February, we're all gonna get together and hopefully everyone will have been at the heel turn. So we can do the flap turn and then do the gusset when we're together face to face. That's the idea. But I've swatched because my tension is often very different to Mr. Westnit's, and I don't really know what happens. So with these contrast blast socks, I think they were done on a 2.25 mil, but in order to match Stephen's gauge, I had to go down to a 2 mil. Whereas with these ones, I didn't get gauge at all using the same needle, but I didn't swatch for these. I'd started the pattern, I think I said last week, I did about 8 rows on the pattern and thought, wow, they look big, held them up against the dustland and they were really big. So I then checked my gauge and I was a whole pattern repeat out. So I basically ripped it back to the rib, decreased the stitches out, and then I did it. So I basically knit the second size rather than the third size that I would usually. But because these are double knit socks, I wanted to make sure that I got gauge because I've never knit a double knit sock before. And I'm glad that I did. So I've done a lazy swatch. So I've done a swatch, I'm very happy with myself. I now know what needles I'm gonna be using. But before any of you start judging me, that they'll go, Martin, that's not a proper swatch. I did a cheat swatch. So this is how big my swatch is. So in the pattern, it calls for a 3.25 mil needle. So I was thinking, right, okay, contrast blast, I'll go down the needle size. So I'll start with a 3, which is what I did here. And then I put the little purl bump in because I measured my gauge and it was well off. Like in 2 inches, I would need 12 stitches, I think it was. And I had 15 or 16. So I then went to a 3.5 and I've got 16 stitches, I think it was. Then I got like nearly 14 on a 3.5. So I then did another purl bump and then I changed up to a 4mm needle. And I've got gauge. So I have also washed this and I've let it dry. I know it's meant to be like, for me to check the 4mm, for this to be a proper swatch, the whole thing would be in 4mm and then you measure the middle. So I know it's not the best swatch. It's my lazy Sunday swatch. And I figure I'm okay with that rather than not swatching at all. And I thought that I know Stephen's quite a loose knitter, and I think in some of the videos, when you see how he knits, I think he looks like a loose knitter compared to me. But I'm now going to be doing my socks on a 4mm needle. So the pattern calls for 3.25. So I'm technically up 3 needle sizes. But if you'd said to me, what needles do you use for a double knit yarn? I would say 4 or a 4.5 without even looking at a pattern. So I feel like a 4mm feels better for double knit yarn. But of course, this is why we swatch, because my tension and my wool is going to be different to Stephen's and the wool that he used. So I'm going to stick to the size 3 in the pattern, and I'm going to use a 4mm needle. I haven't read ahead to see like the difference between the size 2 and the size 3. So what I might do, I'm going to do the size 3 because I think I've got gauge, but I will do the ribbon, and then I'll start the pattern, and then I will just quickly reassess to make sure that it looks okay. But hopefully on a 4mm needle, these socks are going to go flying. So yeah, I need to finish this sock, and I'm now starting these socks. But you know me, right? I did say I was going to bring and talk about the works in progress list, and I've just remembered I haven't got it. I don't even know where the book is. I'm looking that way because it's over there somewhere, but I don't know where over there. I'll make a special effort to find it this week. And then next week's video, which will go up on Monday the 29th, I will spend the end of the month, we'll have because I will have started all of the new things that I wanted to start by that point. So I know what to do. Let's tell the boss who's blowing his nose. Can you remind me this week to find the blue book that has got all my projects written in?
Okay.
And then for next Sunday's video...
What blue book?
Yeah, exactly. Then for next Sunday's video, we'll do the proper breakdown of all the whips, because I'm not starting anything new then, because I've kind of got everything. Although we did come up with this, I want to do a fundraiser in the summer during Pride Month. And we kind of threw some ideas around last night, and if I can make it work, I'm hoping it will be amazing. So there's a few projects I might need to do for that. But more about that, I'll bring you all with me. It'll be fun. So yeah, I'm about to spend my Sunday evening casting on a new pair of socks. But this is a community project because I'm casting on with my besties, which is cute. And I think that's everything for this week. I think that's quite a lot on the basis that there were like 4 days that I didn't do any crafting at all. Yeah. I'll spin you around in a moment and I'll show you, and then we'll end the video. But I finished Mark's shawl as well, which I'll show you. I don't think there's any notices or updates to give people. I'm definitely going to be at Unravel. We did make some decisions yesterday. I'm coming to Unravel, Mark is not. And I am also going to be at the East Anglia Yarn Festival. Had a chat with Laura. We're hoping that there's going to be a crafting corner where you get to come and sit down and bring your project. So I'm going to be there both days. I'm helping Gemma out. I'm chief driver. So I'll be there all weekend. So I'm going to sit down and have my projects, and I'll sit down and do some crafting. So you, and hopefully those of you come into EAYF can come and sit down and craft with me. Spoiler, Laura hasn't put that out on the socials yet, I don't think. Like, it's not that much of a spoiler. I'll be there with my knitting. Please come and join me. I'll pop the links below again to East Anglia if you want to get along to the show. So yes, there was one other thing. Oh, the other thing I was going to mention, I am joining in with the Toft, Mark doesn't know this yet, I'm joining in with the Toft crochet along for Chinese New Year. I do tell you things. Kerry is releasing the Bow the Dragon pattern in the sparkly gold colourway. I'm looking, following me around the kitchen. And I might have bought the kit to join in. Of course you have. But the pattern is, we're going to break it down and do a little bit every day. So I'm going to get up early in the morning. Like when I get up now, I'm getting up earlier to do my daily spin. There are some days I haven't spun this week though. But I'm also going to try and do that. So I'll pop the details below. Not a sponsored egg or an affiliate or anything like that. It's just, I love Toft. I think you'll all know that if you've been here for a while. So I'm going to be joining in with the Bow the Dragon. If any of you haven't seen that on their social media, Kerry announced that on Instagram. So that's going to be a February project. And it's relevant because I said I'm not starting any more new projects, but I know I'm starting Bow the Dragon. Whoopsie. I've got to declare these things, right? Because Mark's a permanent home worker. So Mark's here when the postman knocks on the door and then he messages me. He's like, you've had another parcel from Toft tonight. Sorry. Hey ho. Right. I think that is everything for this week. Yeah, not much progress, but life gets in the way, right? And this is me having my behind the scenes with our life. What happens, what we get up to, what I don't craft. I'm hoping to have both the arms finished on Darwin tonight as well. I'll get those done. I'll get one done now before my sock and then maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But I'm trying to make some progress on Darwin this week as well. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I finished Mark's shawl. It's done. There is no shawl dance. I told him that you've all requested a shawl dance after the success of the sock dance. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go back and watch last week's or the week before's video, I think, where Mark and I are both wearing our matching socks, his and his. They're not the same. We're both wearing socks. We do a little dance. It's very cute. But I've told him that there needs to be a shawl dance, but it's wet. So, oh, actually, let me go and do that now. I'll spin you around. And there is the blocking shawl. So definitely the shape of it makes it too big for blocking mats under the whole thing. I don't have enough. So I use these pins by Knit Pro. And yeah, we've pinned out the border, loosely pinned out the top just to hold it in place on the towel. But yeah, it is looking glorious. Excuse the artificial light. It was late filming this to go in this week's video. But you can see all the tassels look great. A few people commented and said that the tassels were going to go curly, which I worried about when I read that in the comments. But this is how Stephen did it in the tutorial video. He put the tassels on and then blocked it. So I'm glad that they were okay. You can see that we've alternated the tassels, color A, color B, color C, color D, A, B, C, etc. And then what we'll do is we'll just go around, like that's a slightly longer one. When we put it on, so that needs to have a little trim. There's a little long one there. So I think we'll go around and we'll give them a little trim. But the border looks great. It doesn't look like it's curling upwards. So I'm glad I put lots of these pins in. So yeah, here we go. I'll hand you back to him and then we'll have a shawl dance next week. So yes, I am very happy with his shawl. And yeah, it's too big for the blocking mats. We've got some towels on the floor. But I'm hoping that there will be a shawl dance next week.
not discuss my fee.
What do you mean a fee? There's no appearance fee to be on this channel.
Appearance fee.
Appearance fee? No. Maybe I'll get him to model it somehow. But I'm really happy and I love the fringing and yeah, I'm so happy that that is now done. So we'll show that off properly next week's video. So I'm definitely going to wrap this up now. Thank you very much for giving me a little bit of your time today on this Monday. I think lots of you have actually left some really lovely comments to say that you prefer the new kind of shorter format, because usually my monthly roundups are about an hour, whereas these weekly check-ins have been about half hour, 40 minutes. There will be some longer videos come in because of Spinuary and all the rest of it. But the little weekly, they'll be interspersed with some weekly bite-sized ones like this. So if you were new here at the beginning, thank you so much for watching and stay until this point. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet subscribed. It's free for you to subscribe and helps me to grow my channel and my community here. So it's lovely to have you. If you're a returning viewer, thank you as always for being here. You know I love and value all of you and the little community that we're growing, which is wonderful. So yeah, I'm a happy little boy with my podcast and I just get to sit down and chat to you all. So thank you very much. So I'll wrap this up. I will be back next week with hopefully some more finished objects. I'm not sure what I'm going to finish this week. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? Come back next week and check. There's something going on in the family group. I record on my phone. There's lots of messages. Ping, 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 ping. So I'm going to go and see what that's all about. So yeah, thank you very much. Let me know in the comments below what you've liked seeing. Are you doing the... Oh, I didn't say the pattern. These are going to be the bonus pattern from the ebook by Stephen. So they're the something braid socks. I'll pop a picture on screen quickly. So they're the braid socks. Have you made these? Are you going to join in? Let me know. You could join in virtually. You might not be in our physical knitting group, but you are more than welcome to cast on with me and my friends and share your progress. So let me know, are you doing socks? What are you working on this week? What are your plans to try and finish by the end of the month? And now I'm going to go and wrap this up. So thank you very much. I'll be back next week. So until we speak again, happy crafting.